Yeah.
Welcome to the February 19th Town of Amenia Town Board meeting. It is 6:07, and so the meeting is now open, and welcome. I need a motion to go into executive session for personnel matters, the hiring of a particular person, a promotion of a particular person, employment history, and possible litigation.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And let the record reflect that Councilwoman Ahern is present. She's just going to join us in 3 minutes late.
We have to call Ian in because he's really sick.
Sure.
Hey, everybody, and welcome. I need a motion to exit executive session.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, we are now in public session, and I would like, we should start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the emergency exits are to my right, that door and that door over there. And Dawn, roll call,
Supervisor Ham?
here.
Council members Ahern? Here. Doyle? Here. Dietrich? All are
Here.
present. All are present.
Okay,
I
We
make a
need-
motion to accept the agenda?
we need a motion to amend the agenda.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So I need a motion to amend the agenda. We need to move the awarding and construction manager services contract from the consent agenda to the non-consent agenda.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So that was a motion to amend. Is there a motion to accept the amended agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
Second.
Amended. Thank you, Walter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great.
Okay, next is the public comment on agenda items only. Anybody have a public comment? Judy?
Okay, this has to do with the RFQ, which you are discussing later, for landscape architect engineering services. The supervisor was kind enough to share it with me since it involves pretty much everything that the Recreation Commission already put an RFP out for and awarded a contract to someone. I had never seen this before. It says it's prepared by Town of Amenia staff. I don't know who for sure. I know Charlie was talking about doing it, but I don't know if he did it, so I don't want to assume that. But this scope of services includes creation of a vision for all of the properties the town owns, such as the Wasaic Hamlet Memorial Park, the basketball court, Beekman Park, and it specifically talks about developing and facilitating public outreach and plan to gain the input of residents and stakeholders, and to plan recommended park, open space, community facilities improvements, enhanced walkability. This is all the Recreation Commission's. An RFP was put out exactly the same day. And I know that Charlie saw that because he set it up for me to go ahead and load up. I don't understand why, first of all, you're duplicating, asking for services from two different people. But on top of that, at some point, the town board needs to decide. You created a Recreation Commission. Theoretically, we are supposed to be in charge and involved of addressing what happens to the town's recreation facilities. And I see something that simply wipes away all of what we're trying to do and says that you could give it to somebody else. So at some point, I'm happy to have the Recreation Commission would be happy, I am sure, to come and meet with the town board. But you guys have to decide whether you actually have a Recreation Commission or not. Because I spend way too much of my time to waste it if it's going to be, okay, fine, thanks for your help, but we're going to do it anyway. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. The next thing on the agenda is the public hearing on special use permit application, and that's Northern Red Oaks.
Is there a motion?
Need a motion to go?
I make a motion to open the public hearing on the special use permit application.
Second.
Thank you, Walter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So this is public comment time on the special use permit. Anybody?
You want us to do a recap of the project first?
No.
Okay.
Does anybody have, is there any comment on that? Go ahead.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Erin Hoagland. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm the Senior Director, excuse me, of Conservation and Stewardship with the Dutchess Land Conservancy. And just here to talk a little bit about this project. The DLC holds a conservation easement on a majority of the land, which is the subject of the Amelia Trails project, on about 340 out of the 470 acres. And since Northern Red Oak's acquisition of the easement-protected property, we've worked closely with them to understand their project goals and to ensure that their plans are consistent with the permanent protection of the land. The purpose of the conservation easement is to protect the property's scenic, forested, and natural character, as well as the quality of its slopes, forests, wetlands, and scenic quality by restricting development. This is a very restrictive easement that prohibits subdivision and development of the land and limits the use of the property to only recreational and forestry uses. And the easement provides for a process for the DLC's review and prior approval for exercising rights permitted by the easement. And Northern Red Oak has been diligent in working with us to ensure that they fully comply with this process and the terms of the easement. Public access for recreation, including mountain biking, is generally compatible with land conservation when practiced responsibly on designated trails that are carefully located, built, and managed, as Northern Red Oak intends to do. And Northern Red Oak's trail planning ensures that the project fits with the land and the restrictions of the conservation easement. The trail layout and construction standards were developed with conservation outcomes in mind, avoiding wetlands, minimizing removal of trees, and using sustainable trail building practices to shed water and reduce erosion. And the application describes small, low-impact structures only where necessary, such as short bridges at intermittent crossings. There will be no lighting, with the hours limited from sunrise to sunset, all of which is consistent, again, with the terms of the conservation easement. And DLC supports opportunities for outdoor recreation and enjoyment and believes in the health and community benefits of public access to outdoor spaces. This project combines privately funded stewardship paired with meaningful community use while keeping the land permanently protected from more intensive development and uses that could compromise the conservation values. And based on our review and collaboration on the easement terms, we do believe that the Amelia Trails project can deliver recreational and community benefits while remaining consistent with long-term conservation. So we respectfully encourage the town board to consider the positive overall benefits of this application and to approve the special use permit associated with this project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any public comment?
Well, DC is done. DC's first.
Okay, I've said this before, can we turn this around so people can see it a bit? So
DC, could you just state your name
Oh.
and, yeah, sorry. Whoop.
Sorry about that. Doug Broughton, 390 Old Route 22, Wassaic. They're when they put it back up. I just feel that I'm excited about it. I think this is going to be great for the community. I would like to have.
Excuse me, maybe you want to put it over here, and people can see it that
And
way.
there's also a camera for him.
And, yeah,
The camera was up there facing it.
so then, thank you very much. Sorry about that.
It's all right. It would be nice that the people that have property, which is Lombardo's and myself and Holmes, some setbacks where the trailheads are. There's one extremely close to the lower house on the lower property, and it's in the blue. He can point it out. We were talking about it before we got here, and it looks like it's a trail, a mountain bike trail that's coming down. And I mean, my dogs can hear people walking up from the 200 yards away, so they're going to hear that when mountain bikes are coming down. The trail's there because there's already an existing trail there. It's not that they're going to cut it through; it's just there already. Nobody uses it. The ARC people used it once in a while, but with mountain bikes coming down, even they put a ramp, it's going to be highly visible, and I'll be able to hear it. It's literally like 80 yards from my place. They were nice enough to go on the other side of the NYSEG lines, which is, I'll live with that. You can see how, I mean, it's kind of far away, but I show you my properties, right? What?
No, you're okay.
No, it's okay,
fine.
you can move.
So I'm right here. This is my property here and here. They're nice enough to go across here. I did talk to NYSEG about the access, and they must have been dealing with NYSEG, because NYSEG said that they don't have to have one access point anymore, they can have multiple access points. I'm assuming it's because they're gonna clear the lines. But they're gonna keep the trail here, which this is a hiking trail, correct? The green one.
The green is bikes and the
That is
black
bi-
is hiking.
The dotted lines.
Oh,
okay.
Dotted line.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where I am, and what's the blue then?
Downhill.
Downhill.
Yeah,
It's still
Downhill
biking.
bikes.
only one direction.
Okay.
One directional.
So yeah, this is very close, and I spent 9 months in ZBA putting up an inanimate object, so, I mean, I'm here and that's nothing. And then now I have people walking by or biking by, and it's very intrusive to my house. It is, and you guys, we talked about this a year ago, and I kinda got blown off about it. I mean, this is fine up here, I have a cabin right here, and we have a canopy grow right here as well. So people are gonna see that, but I'm not too worried because we have some, anyway. But this one is gonna be more just for the sound, this trail right here, the blue one. And if it's mountain bikes going down, it's gonna be really noisy, as we all know. These are here, the green one, I can live with this. I mean, it's close, you can definitely see it eyesight in the wintertime, but there won't be a lot of people up there in the wintertime, so I'm not gonna complain. Carlo's upset about it because he likes to shoot. I tend to like be cheap and don't wanna shoot my bullets all the time, but he likes to shoot and practice up here. And that's gonna be an issue, because sooner or later, you know the city people, they hear a gun, there's gonna be 911 calls, there's gonna be all kinds of stuff, you guys know that. Especially right here, because his property's right here, and this is where his little pond is, you know how it runs, you've been up there. It's a nice property. So he's concerned about this, he can't be here now, but he did write some letters to Don about one. Anyway, but that's my issue, get some setbacks on these things. I love the idea, it's great what you guys are doing. I just don't wanna have to be living next to, you know, people yelling, you know, coming down, you know, it's mountain bike, it's steep there. That's a great, this is an advanced mountain biking hill. This is not rail trail, this is steep. So anyway, that's my piece, that's what I want to say. We can need some setbacks. I don't think 150 is gonna be accepted by you guys, because that's all the way over here, but something, you know, it can't be like 10 feet from my property line. You know what I'm saying? Good,
Thank you.
thank you.
Next,
Come up.
We own and operate an
Please
organic.
state your name first.
Oh, Bruce Thompson. We own and operate a organic farm on the east side of this project.
Take off the mask just to speak into the
Can you
mic.
take off the mask just to speak?
You can.
Okay.
Speak into the mic.
Right, all right. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, thank you.
All right. There's a few things that we'd like to see incorporated into any permit that's granted to Northern Red Oak. The first thing is that there should be, in the case that somebody decides that more trails are to be constructed, particularly on the east side, which is quite steep, and that there should be another whole application process so that everything can be reviewed, because it's any construction on the east, I'll show you here. This area here, it drops in a few hundred feet, like another 150, 200 or 300 feet down here. It's very steep.
Very steep.
And you've probably seen
I have
it.
tried climbing, it's
You've
hard.
tried.
It's hard.
Anything that tries to go up and back is gonna create a huge amount of erosion. You
I
know,
don't think
you're
it's
gonna
possible.
dig up stuff, it's gonna be impossible.
Yeah.
That's what we're most concerned about, that anything that's, I mean, if you're gonna change something over in here or add something, it's not really gonna be a desperate impact, but this is really big time. There's wetlands here and here that are also gonna be impacted by that. So, that's the first thing. Secondly, there's an emergency access from Amenia Union Road. And according to some conversation with Northern Red Oak, they're not going to use this, but it's still there, and it has to. The fire department wants it maintained. So we'd like to see the gate that is presently there really secured, so that random motorcyclists, dirt bikers, and four-wheelers and whatever are not going to get in there, because our land is here. This is our property line here. And if people come in here, they have been taking their four-wheelers and screwing around down here in the past. And we don't want to see this wide open and a lot of, the opportunity for this to continue more, because this is our cropland here. So that gate, which presently exists, needs to be secured, either with a lock or a chain or something. I don't know. Thirdly, if the envelope around the trails can't be well demarcated, if you don't have something there to sort of give people who are out there on the trail, give them a heads up that, well, you're off the trail and you should be back on it. If that can't be done, then I think it would be good, or we would like to see it, that there'd be a fence around the whole property, just a wire fence about this high with a private property sign, so that anybody who's wanders off the trails or goes exploring or whatever knows when they get to the end of this project, when they're going to be coming onto private land, particularly our cropland, which we're not thrilled about. A bunch of people, it's pretty far away, but people do go exploring. And fourthly, we're an organic farm, and we're quite concerned about pesticides and herbicides. And although Red Oak says that they're probably not going to need to put anything on the trails to knock weeds down because of various whatevers, we'd like to see that any herbicides that are used are OMRE listed. That's organic. And for example, you can use 30% vinegar, which is available at Tractor Supply, gallon jugs of it there. And that'll take out just about anything. We've used a lot of it on some really stubborn weeds in our garden. And so those are the four things that I'm interested in.
Thank you.
And I'll give
Thank you very much.
all copies of this.
Next.
Was there someone else?
I'll take it. Okay, very good, thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Josh Frankel. I live on 315 Old Route 22, so I'm half a mile south of this proposed project. And in the warm months, my main form of exercise is running, and I will run up this road. I run past this spot a couple times a week when it's nice out, and I think it's great. I'm excited about this. I'm a neighbor, and I hope that this happens. This is the first time I'm seeing the actual diagram of it, and I have, what little experience I have being around mountain biking. Something I love off the bat is that the hiking trails I see, the dotted lines, are not shared with the bikes. I've been on hiking trails in other parts of the country, and I have to watch out for the mountain bikers, and this seems like it's setting the signal of thoughtfulness that I really appreciated. Also, I'm also noticing, and I hear Doug talking about this too, and I'm sure you guys have figured it out, but broadly I see that where it hits the road is narrow, And then as you get out to the mountain, it spreads out so that the visibility and impact of the project from the point of view of the road is small, but then the experience is big. And so my first impressions of seeing, the map for the first time are very positive about the thoughtfulness of the whole thing. I think having more ways to exercise in our world full of these, damn screens is really good. Both to be in nature and exercise and health and more things for our kids to do that are not video game based. I think is a really good thing. I think it'll bring visitors, it'll be good for business, it'll be good for tourism, restaurants, stores. People are gonna come here, they're gonna spend money. There's gonna be more demand for businesses both in Amenia and Wassaic. So I think it's cool. I think it's gonna, this isn't the only reason you should do things. I think it's gonna increase property values in town. And when I was talking to my kids about why I was not going to be home for dinner, and I told them I was going to come here to talk about the bike paths, they said, "Oh yeah, go do that."
Thank you very much.
I'm Susan Thompson. Can you hear me through my mask? Yes, no?
I can.
In the mic. Speak in that mic.
Is this okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
Can you
I would
hear now?
prefer to leave it on. I have some immunity.
No, that's fine.
Speak
Thank
into the
you.
mic,
Yeah,
that's all.
okay. So I'm Susan Thompson. I'm Bruce's wife. We have 80 acres of farmland that adjoins this project on the east side of the mountain. We're farmed organically. We've been here for 35 years. And so we're pretty familiar with the mountain and with the ecology and with the glorious view of the valley. And I've spent a lot of time walking on the land in the valley and up the mountain, all the way up the steep side, many times when I was younger. So I really appreciate the wildlife and the tremendous variety of plants and animals and everything. And although I think that this is a very worthwhile project, I think it needs to be done in a way that's really sensitive to the life on the mountain. And one of the things that I see about the trails is they're mostly on the top of the mountain and on the west. And I think it would be very helpful to define a trail envelope up there and not give the public the run of the whole acreage. And that's for a number of reasons. One is that if you did that, it would allow the wildlife to continue to move, freely across the eastern side of the mountain without encountering human beings. As it is now, if the whole acreage is available for people to wander as they wish, then that will impact, it's already going to impact the movement of wildlife and wildlife habitat and this and that. So I think it would be very helpful to define an envelope for the trails and tell people they can't go in the other parts of the mountain. And there are also safety issues for that because, as was stated before, it's quite steep. So there's nothing in the application so far that actually defines where the public can go and where they can't go. I think there needs to be something in there that clearly states you stay on the trails or you stay in this part of the parcel or something like that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I'm a little concerned about the fact that so far there's no gating. The trails are to be open dawn to dusk, but there's nothing to keep people from accessing the trails after hours. And we know already that people have in the past gone up there and partied and smoked and had campfires and things like that. So we are now in a time when we have increasing droughts. We have times when fires are not allowed, and I think we have to be concerned about wildflowers in particular, and after hours and out of season access. So I'm wondering Lauren and I have talked a little bit about this, but so far nothing's been decided about gates. You know, I think there needs to be something, you know, to keep people out after hours. And on the topic of wildfires, I'm wondering how the public will know. It says in the application that there will be times when there's a red alert or something like that, and the trails will be closed to the public. So I'm wondering how the public will know about this. You know, what will be the way of telling people that right now you can't go up there because we're in a big drought and there's wildfire danger and this kind of thing. And also, there's nothing in the signage section that particularly addresses the question of telling people about the dangers of fire. No smoking, no campfires, no, you know, this kind of thing. So I think that needs to be clarified. And then also, I've talked about this with Lauren about the question of ATV and UTV access. It's like once these emergency tracks are opened up for UTV access for emergency situations, then there's the possibility of people coming in there and using them for their off-the-road vehicles. And so I think that maybe is going to be addressed, but so far it's not in the application. So part of these things, I'm mentioning them because if it's not in writing now, then when the town board changes in a few years, when the property ownership changes, then everything is basically, you know, whatever you want to do. So I think that these kind of details need to be included in the application as part of the approval process so that we prepare for the future. Whatever we decide now will go into the future, will have an impact on the future. And then, as my husband said, there is the question of the materials that are used up there. For example, the application calls for the use of treated wood. And treated wood leaches toxic chemicals into the soil. As treated wood breaks down into the soil, that becomes toxins in the soil, which are taken up by the microorganisms in the soil, and they become part of the food chain, and they do affect animal life. So there are local materials like locust, for example, that we use on farms for posts, which can be milled. They stand up very well, you know, to weather and things like that, that could be used instead of pressure-treated wood, for example. And then there's the question of herbicides and pesticides, which we mentioned already for the same reason, and also because of the possibility of drift. Drift not just onto the adjacent land, but also to the hikers and bikers. So if things are being sprayed, for example, between dawn and sunset, you know, then you have to be concerned about, you know, the effect on people and the effect on animals. And if the trails are open during that period of time, when are people going to go up there and do the maintenance on the trail? You know, so that's a question that I think should be, I think there should be some, Northern Red Oak should have some trail maintenance guidelines that are included in the application that address these kinds of things. Because controlling weeds just through usage, well, it depends on the usage. You know, will there be enough traffic on there to actually control the weeds? We don't know. Hopefully people will come, but we don't know. And the same thing with the tree canopy, shading the weeds. Well, the leaves fall off in the fall. Most of the tree canopy around here is deciduous up there on the mountain. So the leaves are down for 6 months of the year. There is no canopy. And if you walk over to the mountain now, you can, our side of the mountain, for example, you can see all the trails. You can see everything between the trees. It's beautiful with the snow, but, you know, it's not going to shade out the trails and keep the weeds down. So I think that there needs to be an alternative plan It needs to be environmentally sane, and it needs to be part of the application. Okay. Okay, then there's the question of noise also. I don't know if any mechanical equipment is going to be used to maintain trails or to make the trails to begin with, how that's going to be done. But just to note that sound bounces all over the valley on both sides, really strongly. And I think one of the things that we all enjoy living here is the peace and quiet and the undisturbed quality of life. So I'm wondering what kinds of regulations there would be or agreement there would be about the use of those kinds of things. Oh, and one last thing is on the emergency road that comes in from Amenia Union Road, looking at it, it looks like it runs right along the crest of the mountain. When I looked at it, I can't see the application, the map from here, but when I looked at it on the application online, it looks like when it comes up to the top, to the crest, it runs right along the front of the crest. And, you know, one of the things that everyone loves about this mountain is the beautiful, beautiful mountain and the trees on the crest and everything. So I wonder if that road there, that emergency road, could be routed a little further back so that, you know, we can leave at least a tree line in the front. So that would be just a request in terms of the aesthetics of the whole thing. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
It is a public hearing, and I have nothing particularly useful to add, but my first impression when I saw this application was that it sounded like a wonderful idea. That's still my impression. But I'm really impressed by the thoughtfulness and the relevance of the comments that have been made, and hopefully something can be worked out so that everyone is happy and it winds up becoming a reality.
Hello. My name is Steve Penner. I am a realtor that work in Dutchess County as well as Litchfield County. I help with the applicant trying to find a property that would be suitable for this use. I think the Amenia Trails project directly aligns with the priorities laid out in Amenia's planning documents, which include expanding greenways and trail connections, strengthening Amenia and Wassaic as walkable, recreation-forward hamlets, and protecting the natural and rural landscape that defines the town. It adds meaningful, low-impact outdoor recreation for residents of all ages while encouraging healthy activity and community connection. By creating a well-designed trail network with clear access points and management standards, the project can reduce informal and unauthorized use and concentrate activity on sustainable routes that protect soils, wetlands, and wildlife habitat. It also complements existing recreation assets, especially the Harlem Valley Rail Trail. And then from an economic standpoint, this trails project will help support tourism and local businesses and will help sustain Amenia's quality of life without changing the town's rural character. For these reasons, I support moving the project forward as it is consistent with Amenia's stated long-term goals. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bill Flood. I live in 5324 Route 44 in Amenia. I was involved in the sale of this property as well. I represented the seller. There were multiple offers on this property, and he chose these people to sell it to because of what they were going to do with this property. So I think this property should move forward, and what Steve has just said, it represents what Amenia wants and what we need here. It will bring people, that's what we want, to support the businesses and so on and so forth. And if kids my age and whatever can go up here and enjoy themselves. It's a beautiful piece of land. It's good. I've walked a lot of it, but it's great. It's a great project. I think it should be approved. And it really shouldn't take this long to do this. This is crazy. That's another issue.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Kenny Merritt, 60 Cascade Road. That looks like a lot of fun. I think you should go through. Thanks.
Thanks, Kenny. It looks like a lot of fun. Fun, no, fun.
A lot of fun.
I do want to go ahead and then point out for the board and for the record that I was able to circulate to the town board all of the written comments that were received prior to tonight's hearing. We have received 10 letters of support. There were 2 additional emails that I did circulate to the town board, one directing to the town board and one directing to Lauren, our applicant, with some questions and areas of seeking clarification. So we did receive 12 written comments. And the ones that were stated tonight, and then you have yours as well.
Yes,
Same
thank
thing
you
as
very
Ms.
much.
Thompson. Oh, and we have more. Did I jump ahead?
Sorry. Anthony Palumbo for the applicant. I want to point out a few things. So first off, the trails we're proposing right now, as part of the special permit, limit us to the trails we're proposing. It's not as if we get approval for this project, we can go and put trails wherever we want. This is a special use, so we're asking for the trails in front of the board right now. So if we come back later on asking for more trails, we need a modification to the special permit. I want to know also the property, the entirety of the property is posted, with posted signs, not the cheap kind. The entire property is posted with posted signs. The kind that last a while, the plastic kind, not the cheap paper kind. Also pointing out that the Amenia zoning code does not contemplate setbacks for trails. The trails were designed at the bottom, at the trailhead in such a way to allow for different uses, to go up and broaden the property out. And there is a lot of natural buffers, not just there, but around the whole property surrounding the trails. The trails will be 3 feet wide to lessen the intensity of the use on the trail. So it's not as if a large group's going down at once. It's going to spread out the usage and limit the noise. The applicant's willing to put additional natural buffers on that lower section to help lessen the noise impact on off-site properties. But as it stands right now, there's a lot of natural growth to help buffer the noise impacts. Again, with the natural growth of the property and the contours and the wetlands, a lot of the property on the eastern side is a natural buffer to deter people from wandering off the trails. So even though we don't have a fence around the property or an intensified envelope made or designated, we think the natural contours do that for us. And we design the trails in such a way to limit the impact to the property only to what is necessary. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? So can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
So thank you, everyone. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the supervisor's report. So the front door lock has been changed and the paddle bar was put on, and we need to, at some point, discuss, we may need a change of work order because there was some misunderstanding. So what we still want to do is we want to have the locks on the side door that's coming in from the parking lot and the one from the back have locks on them that when you close them, they require a key to open them up because people have a tendency to leave them unlocked. So they should be locked at all times. So I will give you more details. I'll send you, I just got a quote at the end of the day. It's about another $500. I had a conversation with Denise Williamson regarding the cell tower leases. She's our accountant. They'll be up for renewal in 2028 and 2029. That seems like a long way away, but she said that we should start considering our terms, and she thinks that we can get a lot more money than we are currently getting, which is about $3,700. We had a special meeting on February 17th, and we interviewed 3 potential candidates for construction manager for the highway garage, and we'll make a decision on that later on in this meeting. On February 18th, yesterday, Nicole and I hosted a stakeholders meeting, which included representatives from the school district, from Maplebrook School, the board president of the library, chairs of both parties, representatives from Troutbeck, Four Brothers, and the Flower Shop, and the Wasake Project. It was a great meeting. I think a lot of good things will come out of it. I will have more information. More information will come. They are talking about having a shared Google Doc so that they can open up their communication. The superintendent of schools offered to give a tour to anybody of the school district. And I think a lot of good things. It was a 2-hour meeting and it went by really fast. And, I thought there was a lot of energy, and so hopefully we can move forward. There's a water situation on Route 22, which I think Bill is going to address later. And I am currently in the process of trying to contain a highway work permit, which will be renewed annually. We haven't had one up to this point. The other thing I wanted to mention is we've used a lot of fuel oil due to the extreme cold this year in this building, as you can imagine. And one of the things that I did notice is that if you feel around some of these windows, they need to be caulked or something. We're losing a lot of air and a lot of cold air is coming in. So that may be a project that we might want to consider at some point. I did talk to our grant writer, and she said possibly there's a grant that we could do to do that.
Are you talking upstairs or downstairs or both?
Both.
Okay, we did get a SAM grant to do all the lower windows over about 5 years ago under Victoria Parodi. We did redo these windows.
Okay.
And we insulated them as best we could. There's brick on the outside, and it's just not that easy to get insulation in there, but it was sealed as best it could. That's what I understand. I'll try and figure out the paperwork that described that project.
Okay.
It was about $50,000.
Okay, and the ones upstairs, like especially in the
And Sue
bathrooms, are really
Serino
bad.
got it for us. Okay, yeah. Downstairs? I think it's upstairs.
Upstairs.
It's really bad.
It is upstairs.
That we didn't get done.
Not only that, I spoke to, and speaking with our maintenance guy, he said, caulk them, you should replace them, especially the ones upstairs.
Upstairs are bad.
He said they're not safe,
And the auditorium.
And the auditorium, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, and I did talk to Christy, and how I had a conversation with the grant writer is, we are increasingly using the gym, and we want to contain people to the gym. There is a bathroom there, but it's not ADA accessible.
It's not
And
working.
and it's not working. But it needs to be redone, and she said that would definitely be it could be part of a CREST grant. She suggested that we look at, which is done in the summertime, she said we should look at considering trying to gather together like $150,000 worth of projects that we can do through this grant. So we will be talking about this as time goes on, but not too much time. But we just ordered 3,500 gallons of fuel oil, and we had last month, I think there was like 2,000. So I want to thank Erica Howard, who really has been pitching in during Judy Westfall's absence. I will be meeting with Senator Hinchley and Assemblyman Beefin on April 23rd. And the town hall will be hosting a prescription collection event on April 25th, and more details will be followed on that. And that concludes my report. Town clerk?
Yep, good evening. The prior meeting minutes of January 22nd, February 5th, and our special meeting from February 17th have been circulated to the board. Is there a motion to go ahead and accept?
So moved.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Nicole. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Any opposed? Motion carries. With all of our emails going around, I did get a copy of the email that Margie O'Brien has resigned from the Enhancement Committee as a chair. I know she was co-chairing with another member, but you guys would like to formally accept her resignation, so we have that on record?
I'll make a motion that we accept with regret Margie O'Brien's resignation from the Enhancement Committee. She clarified it wasn't just as chair, but as from
It
the
was for the
entire
entire
committee, yes.
I'll say, go
Thank you,
ahead.
Nicole. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? With that opening, and I know we have a couple other openings, is anybody willing to make a motion to allow me to authorize the advertisement for Enhancement Housing Board and our alternate planning board
Make that
seats?
motion.
I'd like to amend that.
Sure.
The CAC would like to also advertise for the Climate Smart Task Force volunteers to serve on that.
Added, okay.
Did you say housing board?
I did,
Housing enhancement and the planning alternates.
and then we'll
And
add
we have a
Climate
zoning
Smart.
alternate we need to. We only have one.
CBA one alternate.
And is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Walter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So with the room full here and anyone watching at home, please take notice. We are graciously expecting those applications. I do want to twist over my hat. As you all heard me read last meeting, our tax collection season is in full swing. To date, we've collected $4,934,712.71, with payments being made to the supervisor in the amount of $2,738,933.56. All of our special districts have been paid in full and satisfied. Tax collection is coming almost to a close Monday, March 2nd. That is going to be your last day you can pay here online with 0% penalty. Beginning March 3rd, when you wake up, there will automatically be that 2% penalty. If you have not received your tax bill to date, they are available online at www.ameniany.gov by calling the office at area code 845-373-8860, extension 101, and Robin will be happy to assist you with that. So whether or not you receive that bill, you're still legally responsible and obligated to pay. I am also presenting the abstract for this month and seeking authorization for the supervisor to pay claims, to which you guys have already went ahead and reviewed, totaling $558,264.53, with a breakdown being general fund, $234,046, highway fund, $30,454.36, Amenia Lighting, $1,394.86. Wasake Lighting, $530.86. Amenia Water, $22,351.70. Our Water District Capital Project, $3,767.75. Highway Garage Capital Project, $719. Amenia Library District, $265,000. Amenia Fire District, $1,301,988. Wasake Fire, $458,200. As you'll see, I did acknowledge all of our special districts that are going to be within, and that's in addition to the 558, 264, 53. However, they are special districts, and I want everyone to know that they've been paid. So motion to go ahead and authorize the supervisor to pay those claims.
Make that motion.
Thank you, Nicole.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Vicky.
Vicky. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Okay. This past Tuesday, the town clerk's office was closed. Myself and my two deputy town clerks Robin Schultz and Erica Howard had the opportunity to attend with Vicki Doyle and myself our AOT training in New York City. We took a lot of classes, it was a lot of fun, and I just wanted to thank both of my staff members for coming in on their day off and participating in that annual training. It was a great experience, and I hope to keep that in the budget moving forward. Okay, that concludes the town clerk's report.
Thank you. Okay, building department report?
No,
We've received it, right. Water department?
There's nothing in addition for our, in addition to our packets that's been posted online for our building and our water. I do see our highway superintendent is present in the room. I don't know if she has a verbal. Megan, Bill, you're next.
Okay.
Well, the water was your committee.
Okay. So everything's going pretty good. As you know, we've been dealing with snow, and more snow.
More tomorrow? Monday.
We'll be out early tomorrow
Yeah.
morning, probably the weekend again. So everything went pretty good. Perfect, actually. The big storm. I think our worst battle was the cold. Out there, everything that hit the windshield froze. The windshield wipers froze. Out every couple minutes, chipping her away, but we made it through it. We worked around the clock, keeping up with the storms, keeping our roads open. The next couple days, we pushed back the snow with the wings trucks, put back our intersections, and we found our pipes and our catch basins. Then we dealt with drifting snow. The guys have done a great job. I think everyone's getting a little tired of winter by now. Yeah. So most of the storms this year have been after hours, nights, after hours, weekends, a lot of overtime. And we've gone through a lot of material. We cleared the streets in Wassaic. We worked with DOT, cleaning the streets in Amenia. And we, again, we'll be out tomorrow morning at some point, and then roads are getting a little rough. Frost is coming out, so we'll see what happens with them. And that's about it.
Megan, one of the things that came up at our Dutchess County Supervisors and Mayors Association meeting was a shortage of salt. Did you experience any of that?
No. So far, so good. Calling, and next day, maybe 2 days, when it was a lot more stormy, calling for a lot more salt. But I try to keep it up. Our salt shed's small, so I try to keep it full, just in case. Trying to kill our sand pile that we have down there, so we don't have to move a lot of sand when we move. That's about it. And we got about 29 more days till spring.
I did, one thing, I'm sorry. I've heard from a few people about hoping that maybe we could do some coordination between the people who do the sidewalks and your people. And I was wondering if I might meet with you sometime and maybe we could meet with them to try to get just more coordination, because your guys go out and do a great job, but they come at different times, and then it just all gets covered over. And anyway, if you have some time, I'd like to talk to you about that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Bill. Bill's the only one here.
Bill Flood, chairman of the Amenia Water Company. So obviously, it's been a tough couple of weeks here for freezing pipes. Actually, two breaks, and now we have one that's froze on Route 22. So they've been working on it for a couple of days. They steamed it for 2.5 days. They got 12, it's frozen underneath the road at this point. They got in 12 feet, and it's solid frozen. So at this point, we may open up the other end and probably just drive another pipe through and hook up a new pipe. It's gonna be easier, I think, than trying to thaw this thing out. I don't know if we can thaw it out. And it was frozen from the house to the main, to the shut off. So that's been cleared, I think. And today, the owner was concerned about, they have a steam boiler. So VRI made arrangements today. They ran a hose from the gas station. We filled that boiler up with water, so he's good. So that's taken care of. They've done a great job. VRI's done a great job with us at this point. But we do have a couple concerns, and I've talked about this before. When last year, during budget time, we had asked Charlie and Leo to keep the assessment of the water district to each homeowner in the budget for at least a year so that we could figure out how much money we were going to use. Unfortunately, they took it out. So that's about $30,000 a year that we're not getting this year. So the problem we have is only like 20, 30 people pay online. 80% of the people pay at the end of the year when they have their escrow accounts. So that's when we get the money. So we're paying for this stuff out of our savings. So we have, I don't know, 140,000 roughly in savings. So that's what we're using to pay the bills. So that's, our new rates are gonna take effect, not this quarter, the next quarter. The rates are gonna have gone up, so that's been done, and Nancy's working on the software now to get that done, and the software so people can pay their bills online, the ones that do pay. So the assessment is a big deal, that we needed that money to cover our costs. So hopefully, as the money starts coming in and these breaks and stuff stop, we should be okay. But I think also, next budget season, we borrowed $4 million for the water district. So $1.6 million was taken, that's in the bank already. So we have an interest payment that's accruing at this point for that band. So that's gonna have to be paid next year, starting to pay next year. So water rates are gonna go up. And they're not quite sure. They did the test holes for the new building for the pump house, that's done. The pump house won't be delivered till sometime in October, November, they're thinking. They won't do then the second phase is the water tower. It'll be sandblasted inside and out. That won't be done until 2027. So that's gonna take some planning because they have to empty that tank. So we have to prepare for that. And hopefully the wellheads will be done. The wellheads will be done out of the floodplain will be done this year as well. That's part of being the process also this year. So it's just a money issue. And I think we're gonna have to sit down and talk also about a capital reserve fund, somehow starting that so we can start getting paid, getting money up front so we can start, paying to fix some of these lines. We talked to the engineering company the other day. They're quoting somewhere between 20 and 30 million to replace the water system here.
We have to replace the whole thing?
Correct.
Oh, when did that happen?
No, that's just a discussion we had.
Oh, okay.
We're not doing that, but that's a discussion that we had. So there is no money available, no grants available for the transmission lines. For the wells and stuff, we can get money. But for the transmission lines, you're on your own. There's no grants available for that. So we have to replace them because we have galvanized pipe that has to be replaced. It's in water. It's in, like Mechanic Street's a galvanized pipe that's in water. So at some point it's gonna rot through. The same way with the one that is underneath the road on 22, that's a galvanized pipe. So it's old pipe.
Is it true that there's sections that aren't deep enough? Is that what happened with one of the breaks, that they had said it wasn't buried deep enough? It was only 4 feet down or something like that, and it should have been deeper? I thought that was the feedback I heard on one of the breaks.
No, I don't think so.
The one near Lake Amenia.
No, that was deep enough. The problem is it split.
Mm.
You saw the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
We sent the pictures out.
Yeah.
It was deep enough, I think, but it's just cold. And they're newer 2 of the newer pipelines. So, thank you. Let me add, comp plan committee. I'm the chairman of that
Thank
as
you.
well.
Okay.
So, we did meet the other night. We had a reorg meeting and a discussion. We did receive a grant, we have the money, but we have not heard from the Department of State as to how we can spend that money and what we have to do to spend that money. So we are gonna have, I think, they're gonna try to set up a meeting this coming week. No date has been set, so once we get a date, everybody will receive that, so if you wanna attend that meeting, get on that meeting. So we'll know who we can spend and how we can spend it. If we have to rebid the consultants that we have and so on and so forth, we don't know that yet, so that's next. Thanks.
Just, you don't have to stay up there, Bill, if you don't want to, but I'm glad you brought up all the stuff happened on 22, because I heard a lot about it, because I got called, and it's very close to my own home. I had written up the whole thing, and I don't need to go through it, because you got most of it, but the reason why I was gonna bring it up was because, we have a lot of snowbirds now that go south. Part of the reason why this happened, VRI believes, is because the pipe from the turnoff goes under the street and it's next to a culvert. And just because we had this unusual weather that was so extreme and it was too close to this culvert that it froze. So just for people who do travel south or wherever in the winter, they may think about when people are coming to their homes to check on their homes, to ask them to turn on a faucet for a few minutes just to keep the water running, because also, I'm sorry, VRI said people were in Florida for several weeks and the water wasn't running at all. So if water runs, it won't freeze, hopefully. And you'd rather come home to water than to this. That's all, thank you.
They had a person that was checking the water once a week, that was flushing a toilet.
Yeah,
And that
that's
was
not
in
enough.
water, that's not enough.
It's not
So-
enough.
and
Thank
then-
you.
and
I
it
didn't
was
know
so
that.
cold, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
Thanks.
Thanks.
thank you.
Do you have anything for rec, Judy?
Anything further?
There's one more skating this coming Monday on the 23rd, so people do need to register ahead of time. Email recreation@aminiany.gov, give your name, the names of people who are coming, and a phone number, because we need to supply a list to Silo Ridge of who's coming.
I did go by last time, and I can't remember how many people they said sign up, but there was a good group. And the people from Silo thought, because it was so cold, it was cold, they wouldn't show up, but they showed up and they had a great time. No paddleball. But the skating was fantastic, I heard.
Yeah.
And it was after work, so it was dark already at that time. And there were still people out there skating, a mother with her kids, so I encourage everyone to do it. It looks fantastic. I will not skate. Thank you.
Neither will I. I have weak ankles, but it was very, very well appreciated last year, and I wish we'd had more than the 2 days this year, but at least we do have the one more.
Got some.
I just have,
I was just gonna say, Housing had a meeting, actually today before our meeting, and they have changed their meeting to the second Thursday of the month at 6 PM.
okay.
Thursday? Yes.
Are you going to, I'm just going to step out for a real quick minute. You can go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah. Oh, I'm just going to do a quick rundown on the committees I've been.
Okay.
That's okay? Is
Yeah,
this the right
that's
time?
what-
Okay.
that's what- yeah.
Okay, so yes, Don Marie was right. There were people from the town of Amenia who attended the Association of Towns meeting on Monday and Tuesday earlier this week. And
Is
it
it about
was
committees or just another company?
this is town board. This is committees. Okay, so
just
CAC.
committees, yeah.
CAC, April 18th, we are tentatively planning the townwide cleanup day. And then we are also, 4 CAC members are going to go to the Farm and Home Center on Wednesday, 6 PM, to participate in a roundtable where all the CAC members from around the region, or Dutchess County, come together with their plans, the report from what they did last year and what they plan to do this year. And it's a wonderful thing to share and learn and get inspired by all the different projects and ways that conservation advisory councils help their towns be more sustainable and protect resources, cultural and environmental. We need Climate Smart Task Force volunteers, so I'm glad that we are advertising that. And if you're interested, our co-leader is Michael Peak. If you need more information, contact me or Michael Peak, and he will, you can find him on the CAC list of members. He's the chair of that as well. And enhancement, we need to set a new reorg meeting, and we probably are gonna need some volunteers, but we'll find out at our next meeting. That's it.
Ethics board, did you?
We did, and they are, did I tell you, or did I
You
tell
told-
you?
you told
I
me.
just told you. The Board of Ethics did meet last Tuesday, and, they are in the middle of redoing their policies, the code for the Board of Ethics, and they intend to meet, they have one that they've kind of going off of that they like, and they're gonna meet with, their attorney at the next meeting and go over some of the things they wanna kind of nail down in the next meeting and then go from there. But I think, I'm confident that by the end of the year, they will have a new code of ethics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Planning board is busy as usual, you know, the Freshtown Bank to Coffee House, that was approved, and there was a public hearing. There was a public hearing on the silo lot merger, and that was approved. There was a request for an extension for phase 2 and 6, site plan approval from Traffic, and there was a 11 lot change discussion. And the next meeting is, that was on February 11th, the next meeting is next Wednesday, the 25th, and as it was mentioned, we do need another alternate, so if you would like to be involved in the planning board, please send your interest to the town clerk. Okay. Any other boards or committees I forgot? All right, so the next item on the agenda is discussion items, and it is the landscape architect and RFQ. So as Judy mentioned, there's a lot of overlaps with that RFQ and recreation, so I think before that we hire the architect, we need to define our scope a little better. Narrow it down to what we not need to do.
Oh, gosh, so all of the candidates who applied?
No, I don't think that's the case. I think we just need to
Oh,
make
within
sure.
ourselves,
So, yes, when
internally.
I did reference checks for these people, one of the things that the town, and more than one of the towns said, was when you hire somebody, you really want to have a clear idea of what your scope is. And so, I don't think that we would have to do any of that. I think what we need to do is just make sure, we'll have to check with Ian on that, but I think that we have to know ourselves what exactly the expectation is and what we need done. They also said that we need to have, the people always also recommended that I spoke with, that we have a clear idea of budget. About how much do we have to spend and
Where's it coming from?
where is that money coming from?
Was there nothing budgeted for? Oh, well, they might wonder why they're interviewing for a project that doesn't.
I do wonder though, Rosanna, if because of, we'd be making all these changes, if we would have to redo the RFQ.
Maybe we will, I don't know, we have to
You're
double
changing
check
the
with Ian,
scope.
but I do know that we need to at least talk about, what it is. I mean, we can just have that discussion now before we do the RFQ. I mean, what is it that we want to focus on?
Well, I think we want to focus on the things that we actually can afford to do this year and maybe what we intend to do in the future and get a handle on what our priorities are so that we can interact with these applicants in an intelligent way, because they don't know what to cover if they don't know what our project is. So I know that I'm again going from historical information, but I think that Bank of Millbrooks, when they inhabited the old M&T Bank, they gave us I believe it was $10,000. Victoria secured that before they even moved here, and they gave us an additional 5. I think we have 15,000, and that could hire somebody to redo Fountain Square, which to me is the centerpiece. It's the start of the visitors' impact. And you go, you see Amenia, their bricks are faded and half of them are missing. You can't read their names. They're steps that need to be fixed. I would suggest we at least start with that scope, and if we don't have to change the whole RFQ, at least we have a project, we have a design. Both George Whalen at Bank of Millbrook created his own landscape plan. The enhancement committee used a volunteer to create their own landscape plan, and I think Leo did some overlays and some thoughts about changing the lighting to be more appropriate for the needs that we have and the electrical things, so that when we have our events there, the things work, and that would be great. If the electrical worked in Fountain Square, it would be my priority.
So the electric is being taken care of. That we have, because of weather, Jim hasn't been able to do it, our electrician. So we already approved the money for the electrician.
There are other issues, I'll just say, that maybe you handled the ones at the fuse
Actual
box.
fountain, right,
But we have other problems that we need to sort out. And I don't want to go into detail because I tend to go into detail. But, so I will just say that when you have your event and you have a sound system plugged in by the flag, you have to run a cord around the corner, which people would then trip over. So there's a lot of things that don't quite work there. So they need to be
So we
re-engineered.
need to, well, he was gonna do some of that. He was gonna put some of the GFI things in and for safety reasons.
Yeah.
But, so then we should probably have a conversation with him and get an estimate from him.
Because we need to dig up the whole thing. I mean, you understand,
I
this is a
understand.
big
Yes, I do
project.
understand.
Okay, okay.
But I agree
But we
with
still need an
you.
electrician.
Yes.
When we dig up the whole thing, we need an
But I want
electrician.
the 15,000 that we have for Fountain Square in hand to go towards Fountain Square planning, just so that we get the
And-
drawings and the engineering that we need to get a permit.
I saw some drawings online.
Yes, we have permits, but they don't show the elevations. There are DOT
Okay.
requires specific things.
So when you read the RFQ, I believe it says that these are like things that we're thinking about phasing. So if we just check with Ian, if we can narrow it down, I think, I agree with Vicki, it should be narrowed down now. We don't have that much money to Fountain Square and that area. And then we can think about going on later. And we should talk to Rec, and, because they have, I mean, when I saw the basketball, I was like, isn't that something different? So I agree with you. Let's narrow it down to Fountain Square and move on.
Okay. The next item I actually addressed in my supervisor's report was the CREST grant. So keep your thinking caps on as far as priorities for the building that we might apply for the CREST grant. One of them being redoing the bathroom in the, down here, and also putting a gate across the hallway, so to
Yes.
keep everybody down in that. And she said she thought that would be covered too, and I have to start getting estimates.
What's a CREST grant? I mean, what does it stand for? What office manages it?
Do you get Pat Ryan's emails?
I don't.
I can send it on to you if you
I
don't,
don't
because he has it
remember
all listed
exactly.
there and you can read
Okay.
all about it.
If somebody could tell me what that acronym is.
Christie knows what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the consent agenda.
So you're going to be moving this evening. I'm seeking, is anybody looking to move? Resolution number 32, approving the transfer of funds.
I make that motion?
Second.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then, as you guys already heard earlier this evening, you are moving the awarding the construction manager services contract for the Town of Amenia Highway Garage and Salt Storage Facility project to the non-consent. As everyone has noted on our website, and it's been circulated, is this resolution has blanks to which you are looking to fill in this evening. So as whoever's going to read it and move it, fill in the missing component.
Okay, regarding awarding the construction manager services contract for the Town of Amenia Highway Garage and Salt Storage Facility project. Whereas the Town of Amenia is seeking to construct a new highway garage and salt storage facility, and whereas the project is proposed on a vacant 5-acre lot located at the east side of New York State Route 22, approximately 2,200 feet south of South Sinpatch Road, and whereas the new facility will enable the Town of Amenia Highway Department to leave its current inadequate, outdated space in Wassaic and move into a newer facility that meets the department's current needs with room for expansion, and whereas the Town Board of the Town of Amenia, by Resolution Number 22 of 2026, authorized a request for proposals to retain a qualified construction manager as advisor capable of providing comprehensive construction management advisor services for the construction of a new highway garage and salt storage facility in the Town of Amenia. And whereas the Town Board of the Town of Amenia received 3 proposals from qualified construction management services as follows. Arcadis of New York, Inc., $497,800. CHA Consulting, Inc., $488,325. The Palumbo Group, $374,540. Whereas the Town of Amenia has reviewed the proposals and has determined that the Palumbo Group Incorporated submitted the lowest responsible bid and recommends that the Palumbo Group Incorporated be awarded the contract for construction manager advisor services for the construction of a new highway and salt shed facility in the Town of Amenia in the amount of $374,540. Whereas this is a Type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, and therefore not subject to review under SECRA, and whereas the Town Board of the Town of Amenia, pursuant to its analysis under the New York State Court of Appeals decision in the matter of County of Monroe versus the City of Rochester, 72 New York, 2D 388533, New York State, 2D 702, 1988, has determined that the construction of a new highway garage and salt storage facility shall be exempt from its zoning regulations and clearly serves the public interest of ensuring the continued and improved maintenance of public roadways under the jurisdiction of the Town of Amenia Highway Department. Now therefore be it resolved that the recitations set forth above are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. The Town Board has determined that this is a Type 2 action under SECRA and therefore not subject to review under SECRA. The Town Board of the Town of Amenia, pursuant to its analysis, a copy of which is annexed hereto under the New York State Court of Appeals decision in the matter of County of Monroe versus the City of Rochester, 72 NY 2D 388, 533, New York NYS 2D 702, 1988, hereby determines that the Town Board may exempt the town from its zoning regulations permitting the construction of a new highway garage and salt shed facility. The Town Board of the Town of Amenia hereby awards the construction management services contract to Palumbo, the Palumbo Group, Inc., in the amount of $374,540. The Town of Amenia hereby authorizes the town supervisor to execute the contract for construction management services after the review by the attorney to the town. Funding for said services shall be paid from the engineer equipment and capital outlay budget number 14402.20. Can I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Second.
Supervisor Ham?
Here. I'm sorry, yes. Yes.
Welcome.
Glad you're here.
Council members Ahern,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Dietrich.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, other matters?
In all fairness, it's been a while since we've had to do a non-consent agenda.
I know. And, other matters?
Anyone?
I do
Go
have
ahead.
just a few things. I wanted to say that I was very pleased to be able to attend the Association of Towns annual training in New York City on Monday and Tuesday. I went to, a half a dozen classes, maybe not even that many. It's a lot to absorb, but I thought one was outstanding, and that was how one county used AI to help them analyze their budget, trends over time, trends over into the future, so historical, looking forward, looking at your existing departments, helping you plan a budget. By no means is AI the ultimate answer. It all has to be fact-checked, and there are big holes that you need to understand when interpreting that data. But it is a tool that can point out and flag things that you hadn't thought of. And they had a great case study, which I thought was just fabulous. And Collier County, for instance, modernized their budgeting processes to uncover $40 million in savings. They used a special software. There's free software out there, but I thought it was very interesting. And I think at some point, for example, the Water District is really going to need to get a handle on how those giant infrastructure issues are going to impact their water bills over time. I know there's a lot of moving variables, but that's just one example that comes to mind that says, over historical data, how can we make this work? This county found 40 million in savings. They actually found 150 million in savings without reducing services, just by looking more carefully and making decisions more thoughtfully about how they use their existing resources. Unfortunately, it's a very small district, that water district. There's only so much you can parse. But over our overall budget, I think it would behoove us to use whatever technology we can use, as long as we're smart and careful about that. So I thought that was interesting. I also went to one on how to plan, protect, and prevent source point pollution. It's something that Charlie Miller started testing some of the water. There's free resources, people who are ready to help us for free make sure that our drinking water stays safe. It's called New York State's Drinking Water Source Protection Program, or DWSP2. It's a locally led, state-supported program that empowers municipalities to take action to improve and protect their water resources and surrounding environment. They have technical experts, free. They're willing to help us at any stage of our planning to help us. Any question is not too obscure for them. That's what they said. I also went to how to fund municipal infrastructure. As you can hear tonight, there's a lot of infrastructure that we'd like to improve. I did want to say that SAM grant, I sent the email that had a description of literally every window that was replaced, 101 of them on the first floor. We knew that we didn't have the funds. Victoria Perotti was in charge at that time. She got the SAM grant using Sereno's assistance. That is called I don't know what it means. Anyway, we always call it a SAM grant. It's basically the discretionary money that one of our senators can arrange for the town. And I would suggest that we ask them, if we ever have, you have to do a match. At least in that case, it was a $100,000 project, but they gave us $50,000, and we placed all of these and the windows in the gym, correct. So that is exciting, and that was done in 2016, but you're absolutely right. When I was upstairs, and we had some dance classes in that far room directly above us, there's air blowing through one of the windows. You cannot really, at least when I was last up there, I couldn't close it sufficiently.
We did a paint and sip up there in the break room, and we had the same problem. You couldn't open them very good, and you couldn't shut them very good.
Correct.
And they're dangerous, and if anybody tries to open them, they tend to fall, and somebody could get hurt.
Especially in the auditorium.
Yep.
Okay, that's my report. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I'd like to advise you all that according to the laws of the great state of New York, Section 20, Town Officers, Chapter 62, Article 3, Subsection 20, every town of first class, which Armenia is, shall have a supervisor and 4 council members. The Board of Election has already advised that a special election will be held if we cannot come to an agreement on the 5th seat on this board. I've also been in contact with AOT on this subject, but I have not heard back from them. For your guidance, I was told by our supervisor that a lot of people in town would be unhappy if we appointed Charlie Miller to the 5th seat on this board. What I do not understand is why these people are more important than the great many people who have spoken to me about how unhappy they would be if Charlie was not appointed to the 5th seat. It's a little bit of a dilemma. However, there will always be people who are unhappy. Truly, this cannot be helped, and it's part of life. That being said, I believe I was elected to the board because the people who voted for me understood that I would do what I thought was best for the town and not for individual parties. I firmly believe that Charlie Miller not only merits the position, but is also vital to our community and the initiatives we are currently striving to realize. Therefore, it's my honor to nominate Mr. Charlie Miller to fill the vacant seat on Amenia's Town Board. Thank you.
I'd second that.
Discussion? We can't do that by motion. Ian said it has to be a resolution. I checked back, and when Nicole was appointed, it was definitely a resolution. I think it was resolution number 44 of 2026. So it can be, or 2024. So it can be, so we need to table this and have.
But they
Ian do the
voted on it
resolution.
before they did the resolution, because I was here in the audience, and you all voted on Nicole
No,
and
it-
not anyone else.
It was,
Yes,
no,
there were 3 people up, I
It was
said.
There
It
were
was
two
a red
resolutions
resolution.
that same night.
And it wasn't me that was put up first, it was changed.
Okay, fine. You're doing anything to stall this, it's ridiculous.
No, we can still vote on it, we don't have to table it.
We can vote on it, let's vote on it. That's all I want to do.
We need to have a resolution vote on it, so we'll put it on the
So we're
agenda
going to put
and
it-
ask.
So it's
and
being
ask-
stalled again, okay, no problem. Thank you.
Rosanna, we can vote on it and then have a resolution ready for the next meeting.
Ian told me when I talked to him at 5 o'clock, he said to me, you need to do it by resolution, put it on the agenda, you need to have a resolution ready for March 5th.
Okay.
He told me, did he text something else to you?
Good, then the people of Media know that they can come here and it will be for open comment, anything you want to say. Thank you.
Okay, public comment on all business?
We still have to move to table that? We have to move to table the motion. that was
Oh,
made.
okay, I make a motion to table the last motion to appoint a 5th seat person until the March 5th meeting.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye. I should say nay, sorry.
So
Okay,
motion carries to table this.
Yep. Oops.
Judy, you have a public comment?
CREST stands for Community Resiliency, Economic Sustainability, and Technology.
Thank you.
Amenia is not a first-class town. The definition of a first-class town is a town with a population of 10,000 or more. We are a second-class town.
No, not according to the AOT, I'm sorry. We were told at AOT that we were first class. Were you there?
No, I wasn't there, but I can read.
Okay.
It's,
We
you
are-
you are wrong.
It is a second class
They
town.
told us first class.
No,
No,
they
it's
told us
second.
All
No,
right.
that's wrong.
Regardless, second
Yep.
class has to have the same thing too.
No, actually, it doesn't. They don't have to hold a special election.
Fine.
Having said that, that's fine. You're going to get to do it again. That's just my comment. I would hope that if you are going to, any of you, nominate somebody, that you will actually try to pick somebody that everyone could agree on. It's the only way you're actually going to get to appoint somebody. The idea of holding a special election for something that is going to come up again in November is a tremendous waste of money on the part of the town. So I sincerely hope nobody pursues that. And that's about it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments on business?
Good evening. I just wanted to say that I'm deeply disappointed to hear Charlie Miller is going.
Could you give your name? I'm sorry, name
Oh,
and
yes.
address.
Cynthia Butts?
It's been
Wassay.
tabled anyway, miss, so just so you know.
No, but she
Well,
did-
it's a public
I'm not saying
comment.
she shouldn't stop, I'm just letting her know, she just came in.
I just wanted to say that I am deeply disappointed to hear Charlie Miller is going to be nominated for a seat at the town board after altering legal documents. He clearly took a screenshot or a snippet on an older document and pasted it to a new document with the correct date on it. That is not an accident, no matter how you try to spin it. When it was being swept under the rug, I outed it on social media because the people of Amenia deserve to know. There should be transparency in our government at every level. Charlie Miller came to my home to confront me because he did not want people to know what he had done, instead of sending me a message on Facebook or writing a letter to see if he was welcome on my property. He came to my door where my children are to try to silence me. My home is my sanctuary. I did not take that well and shut him down instantly. You may be able to pull a wool over other people's eyes, but not mine. The fact that he never owned up to what he had done and only made excuses for it shows how unethical he truly is. The people of Amenia deserve better. I hope you reconsider your nomination in the name of the good people of Amenia and show them that you truly care. The people of Wassaic and Amenia deserve board members that are ethical, transparent, and have integrity. Charlie Miller does not fit that bill. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Kenny Merritt, Cascade Road. Two things. One, I feel like if anybody had done anything similar to what Mr. Miller is accused of, again, I say accused because he wasn't proven innocent or guilty, he would have been placed on a leave of absence in any normal business, and I feel like he should be the same thing until we can prove 100% one way or the other that what he did was actually true or not. That's my take on it. And then I also feel that every committee, board, everything that is done in this town should be done in this room with the cameras on so that we can all see what is being done in the housing board committee, the rec committee, all of that, because not all of us can come down here and attend the meetings in person. And it's a lot easier to just listen to it on YouTube over the next couple of days. The people that are in the committees wouldn't really need to be trained on how to use all the stuff that Matt does. It would just be turn it on, hit record, and show us how to do that. That's it. Have a nice night.
Anybody else?
Kimberly Travis. I just actually have a question. How expensive would it be to have a special election? For the
Thousands of dollars, I'm
Like-
sure.
like-
Thousands. I would think, I don't know, I remember when we had the old pull-down things,
Uh-huh.
and it was several thousands to get all the machines mobilized and such. It's not a small thing.
Not a small
I don't know
thing.
what it is now with this, but you still have to move things, you have to train people, you have to staff it. It's not a small thing.
Very involved, for it to have to happen now and then again in November. So is there another, since there's so many people that are, some people are for Charlie, some are not for Charlie, does the board have other residents that they are considering, and have they been reached out to yet? And if so, will we, the residents that would have an opinion on that, be able to know who they were?
We haven't really investigated that. We have had people volunteer that have come and approached us and said they would be interested. We haven't really, we just listened, but we haven't done any research or any of that, to this point. To be quite honest, back in 2024, when we had a similar situation, it was a very negative, very divisive activity that happened when we appointed someone. As a result of that, people were hurt. There was a lot of divisiveness. And as a result of that, we decided when we lost Paul, that we not go through that process again, since there was going to be election in November. And so we didn't, and we went through the year with 4 seats, with 1 empty seat, and we got a lot accomplished. So I think there's a hesitancy to go through that process again, since, you know, November is just right around the corner, and then we can leave it open and do, and listen to, and let people elect whoever they want for that seat.
So if there's a, I don't mean to interrupt, but if there's an issue where the board is tied in its vote, who would be the deciding vote in that
There
instance?
isn't one.
There isn't one.
It's shut down and the election would take place in November. If the board cannot agree, if there isn't a majority vote,
Mm-hmm.
then it
The
doesn't
motion
happen.
fails.
The motion
If the
fails.
motion fails. And so
Oh.
you're just, it doesn't pass.
Okay,
You
even if it
can't-
was something that was imperative that had to be decided on, like, in a very timely manner, what could you do?
It would not pass, so that's the nice thing
So
about
you couldn't
having
go to the
5, is that
judge and
you
say-
can get something passed. But on the other side of the coin, we all have to work together, or nobody gets anything passed, right? So we're a 4-member team, but as I was at Association of Towns, I kept getting this visual, and apologies for this very rudimentary, I very barely played basketball, but there were 5, I think, and you look around the room and you pass the ball, so I got a lot of very exciting resources and ideas, but I work full-time. So I'm looking for somebody to pass the AI ball to, looking for somebody to pass the funding on infrastructure ball to, and I only see the 4 of us. And I thought if we had that 5th person, he might run down the court and make the basket for us.
Gotcha.
That's my gut feeling, is that we're minus a really important team maker that might just run down, I see him open, he can take the ball and run.
Someone that has the time to do things that, I mean, the
It's an
4 of you,
extra
yeah.
person, yeah.
It's a full-time job already, so.
It's a big job.
Okay, well, that's all the questions I had, except where have you been that you got so tanned on? Because you look amazing.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, then, somebody'd like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
A second?
Cool, thank you, Roseanne. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's 8:40 PM.